Hi, this video tutorial is to introduce you to plotting in Mathematica. We'll start with a new notebook and work with a function that you're all familiar with, the sine function. To perform a basic plot, we'll call plot, which only needs two pieces of information, the function that you want to plot and the range over which you want to plot the function. So we're going to plot sine of x from 0 to 6 pi. So we'll replace the word function with sine of x. And remember that Mathematica functions start with capital letters and use square brackets. Then we'll replace the word range with the range of x from 0 to 6 times pi. Remember that pi is a built-in value when typed with a capital letter. Now we'll hit Shift Return and we should get a nice plot. Here's the sine function from 0 to 6 pi. Now we're going to change the range from minus pi to plus pi. So we'll replace 0 with minus pi, and we'll delete the 6. We'll hit Shift Return, and we'll get a new plot. We can also change the function very easily. For example, let's say we wanted to plot sine of 2x. We'll put a 2 in here, Shift Return, and we get the plot of sine of 2x from minus pi to pi. Let's plot several different sine functions at the same time, but let's first change the range from 0 to 2 pi. So I'll delete minus pi, replace that with 0, and put in a 2 times, and we'll just plot sine of 2x. Now to have Mathematica plot several functions at the same time, we'll need to put curly braces around those functions. That's how Mathematica understands lists. Let's say we want to plot sine of x and sine of 2x at the same time. We'll just add curly brackets around sine of 2x, like this, and then we'll add sine of x and put a comma in between them. That tells Mathematica we have a list of two functions that we want to plot, and you can see here that we've plotted both of them. Mathematica also chooses automatically the colors of the plot. So here sine of x is plotted in blue, and sine of 2x is plotted in magenta. Let's say we wanted to add another one, like sine of 3x. We can just add that in at the end here, and again, hit Shift Return, and we get our plot. So that's how to do basic plotting in Mathematica. But this plot isn't terribly informative. There's no labels on the horizontal or vertical axis. We're going to add a couple of labels. Changing the visual properties of a plot requires using Mathematica's set command. It looks like attribute name, right arrow, style. To set the axes labels, the attribute name is actually axes label. Notice that the word axes and the word label are both capitalized. Since we want to set the vertical and the horizontal axes, we'll use a curly bracket for a list, and we'll label the horizontal axis x and the vertical axis y. If we hit Shift Return, we can see that we get the horizontal axis label x and the vertical axis label y. Now let's say we forgot to use a list and we delete everything but the x. If we do that, Mathematica's default is to label the vertical axis. If you want to label just the horizontal axis, you need to use a list, but you leave off the second argument in the list. By hitting Shift Return, we then get this horizontal axis label x. There's a ton of other attributes that you can set for any plot. I'd recommend looking at the Mathematica documentation for the function plot. This concludes the video tutorial on using Mathematica's plot function. Thanks.